Well, as you can see, I'm out today in the wonderful Welsh mountains and I'm trying to make up for the last failed trip I went to Delamere Forest and got nothing. So I pushed myself to come out, and there's a little window in the weather today and I am going to make the best of it. See, as I said on that last video, it's like falling off a bike. You get back on again straight away. That disappointment spurred me on, and I watched the forecast closely this week, and there is just this chance today to get amazing mountain shots. God, you can't see me there, can you? And I'm really confident I'm going to get something good today. I've actually brought the infrared camera as well because, as you can see, blank skies, but that works great in infrared.
Well, this first shot here is indeed with the infrared camera, and it came out a lot better than the traditional black and white film did. There's just far more interest in those shadows there.
Now, one of the problems about getting the best light, and I've covered this on quite a few videos in the past, is that to get the best light you've got to be up early. I got up about 4:30, it's even though it's the middle of winter, because I wanted to catch that early morning quality of light. And I've even got the moonrise Cadaridris, and it does pay dividends. If I'd come an hour or two later, I wouldn't have this wonderful scenery to myself.
Now, I've never actually shot this mountain in midwinter before, and I was surprised at just how much shadow there was. Obviously it's sunrise and you can still see the moon there, fantastic, but a lot of the interesting details around this lovely little llyn here, Llyn Cow, were totally obscured. I did take a couple of frames, but I'm not going to put them up here.
Well, I can't complain about the views this morning.
Indeed, the photography is obviously, as I've said many times, very important to me, but the walk is absolutely fantastic, and this is what I really needed after that failure when I went to the forest a week or so ago, and I'm finding my enthusiasm already at this point coming back. I knew I hadn't taken any even good pictures at this stage, but it didn't matter because I knew I was going to get something, and the adrenaline was running and I was feeling much more photographically minded. Now, this is interesting. Infrared shooting these rocks came out quite strange, but I would say I prefer the black and white film. It's more natural, it's more detailed as well. Now, as you can see, those harsh shadows there really intruding, and an awful lot of flare. I mean, look at this through the zoom lens of the infrared camera. Too many elements and too much harsh light just do not combine well together. Apologies for the obligatory style shot. And as you can see, gin clear skies, not my favourite, I'd say.
Okay, fantastic walk up here so far, but the light is very, very low and directional. I'm actually finding the infrared giving very strong contrast in there, really punchy black and white, and I can make that look conventional black and white if I like to. So a few film ones thrown in there as well, but as the sun comes up, I'm hoping to get a bit more clarity in some of the shadow areas and start shooting film.
As I said, it's worth pointing out that you can make infrared images look quite natural black and white. They just add a different look, and it can actually make some situations that don't work with any other type of format work really well. You can punch up shadows and you can really tame those skies. But here's where I got probably my favourite film shot of the day. Looking back down the walk I've come up. I like that foreground rock. I've created a little bit of an intentional halo around it to separate it from the distant hill. But I do like that particular scene. I think, yeah, it's probably the best of the film images. But as I moved on and the sun's climbing higher in the sky, it's actually getting very warm. I mean, it was probably below freezing on the tops, but all that climbing, well worth the effort to get to the main peak. But as I'll say later in the video, the main peak, the highest peak of a walk, rarely gives the best views. It's usually lower down where you get the best images.
Now, I don't think I've got the best images of the day so far. This is not the best point on the walk to get those images, but I've had a fantastic walk and the sun is now coming up. It's dazzlingly bright, as you can see over there. But there are some amazing views now down onto the lower peaks because I'm on the highest point, about 3,000 feet. And my favourite view of all is sort of from well over there, looking back this way. So I'm really looking forward to getting that, but a quick snack and my God, my enthusiasm levels are through the roof.
And that was probably the most important thing from the day I got, which was my enthusiasm, my batteries being recharged as I not only climbed the mountain but took quite a lot of images with both the cameras. I could just think ahead to the year coming, and I could imagine various other scenarios and things I wanted to shoot and how I wanted to shoot them. And being out in nature and fresh air even if you haven't got a camera, it is marvellous. I mean, it's probably the best health kick you can get. Now, this is quite an interesting view back across to the peaks I've just come on. And I've got an infrared one here, which is very stark and very, very gritty. Again, it works so well in infrared because you have got some sky detail in there.
You know, quite a lot of these walks involve sections where not much happens photographically, and this is the case here, where probably a mile or so, maybe 2, where there aren't any real decent views, and you've just got to get through them really. They're not particularly exciting, but if they get you to a place where you get a great shot, then fantastic. Just out of interest while I'm up here, one point that's been made by quite a few people who do mountain photography is that the best views are often not from the big mountains, they're the small ones. Now, over there, and I'm sorry, I'm just having a sandwich here. Over there was a little group of hills where I get great views back to this mountain, which is Cadair Idris. I think the best views of this mountain are from that scraggy little hill over there, that little scruffy mongrel of a hill. It gives fantastic angles and options, and I've never taken a bad shot from up there, which is pretty amazing for me. So whilst these are wonderful and I get some great views, don't dismiss these little hills around here, because some of the views from those can actually be spectacular. Nice sandwich, by the way.
Quick side-by-side now, infrared from my location, and I do like it. It's punched up the detail in the shadows, and it's also got those lovely skies. The conventional one's a bit washed out on the horizon, as you can see. Less contrast, and it's just less appealing overall.
It's a good view, but I need some more, I need a bit more, a little bit open around this peak here and Llyn Cow. I've got far too much foreground, so I think if I go further down here, I'll get a better angle. Well, I have got one here with this foreground rock. It's not particularly strong, it's in a vertical format, but personally I think, given it's January and the best light I've seen here is in spring and in late autumn, when the face of the cliffs here and the lake are illuminated, I'll pop one up which has done that time of year far better, and also I've got no sky, so maybe try one with infrared.
Well, the infrared's actually done a good job here. I have had to work on the image somewhat to bring out the shadows, but I do like the effect, to be honest. I didn't think it'd work that well. Now, the descent here is a slog. This is where your knees start to complain. But one thing I do like about this particular location is you do have the RAF doing lots of low-level training flights and flying all manner of aircraft through what's known as the Mach Loop. And, you know, at this point I'm probably about 2,000 feet high. So I'm well above these aircraft, and you get spectacular views down to them racing through and chasing each other. There was quite a few other fighter jets here on the day as well, so quite a scene. But this particular location now towards the bottom is not very appealing. However, I am fully aware that I'm coming back to a forest section. It is now getting to midday. I have got an infrared camera. Now this is where it shines. You've got to get the right angle with infrared, but it'll make something of nothing. I mean, this does not work with traditional black and white or colour, but in infrared, obviously you've got that wonderful ethereal glow of the leaves and backlit here, which is unusual. Backlit doesn't usually work very well, but it does here. And again, this stream scene, it's beautiful, it's soft, it's gentle. It's exactly what I like in infrared photography.
Well, that is me done for the day. What a great day it was. My enthusiasm is reignited. I've got loads of ideas what I want to shoot this year. Really like those infrared ones towards the end there. The light's perfect for infrared now. Might get one or two more on the way back to the car, but if not, I will see you again, and thank you very much for watching as ever.